the R Saruk. I think that hinted over here in the R Saruk was this concept of the Sag, and the final Yud of the Sag. I think it was him that said that. It was this R Saruk. The Pirish R Saruk, he says, Garis Khan, and we're on Taf Kuf Samaches, in case you didn't know. A number base in the left column. It says Garis Khan, Labasudis Chad, and that's these named Yaakov, and he says it's Yaakov with the Yud. That's what it is. It's Yaakov. It's the first three parts. Yaakov with the Yud. Bir Khan Lefi Darko, and also now he's explaining. Zel the show that behind it the Omer of Sefer of the Bas is Chazra Adalot. So then it says afterwards, all of the four of the is Labas is Chazra Chad. They come back and become one. He says he's a kolomber of the pasuk saying this pasuk Omer Hud Sibo B'Amod. He commanded and it stood, so to speak. The Ramos long of the Kasser. So Hud Sibo is referring to Kasser. Sheyarda Yud. So what happens here in the Kasser? He says that the Yud shall shame Sag, which we mentioned before is the last Yud in the name Sag, and exactly why he said the name Sag, I'm not sure, but we have Av Sag Da'ak, that kind of idea. And Sag is like the Benedicta part. I guess it's the part that gives birth. This is my thinking, so trying to understand it. Sheyarda Yud shel Shem Sag B'Pam Shenis L'Soch Athiru. Now apparently he says it the second time. I'm not sure, well, maybe the first time represented the first Tzimtzum. And when this comes down the second time, it makes the ball of Kesser. So he says a Kad or a Kesser. So let me read again. He says, and pours out Meha Or HaKadmon from the original light. I guess it's the light of the Ein Sof, which is Shebachavira, which is trapped in or closed in the Avira, Hadganus, which is hidden away, all of that. Haneshach b'Yoda Azot. So he said, what was it? He says, B'Pam Sheni the Socha Tihi B'Chasim Kador Kasser. So this is somehow meshed, is a remnant of the Yud. Oz Na'as Zehal Or HaGodol Ima Or Shedis Ava. So now this great light, together with this this thickened light, Machbas B'Kiyas Yud Chazos Echad. So therefore now it becomes the concept of one. So the two of them together, his words are again Oz Na'asa Zeha Or HaGodol Ima Or Shenis Ava B'Machbas Kiyas Yud, because the light became thicker as a result of the Yud breaking out of the Avir, meaning that in the case of the Avir, it's almost completely transparent or non-existent, very close to very thin light. But now that it breaks out of the atmosphere of the Avir, which he's talking about, which holds the original light, it becomes thicker. This Avir Yud, because now it becomes thicker as a result of the breaking out of the Yud Hazos, and then it says the word Echad. Now, what does that mean? He said, behind us, so somehow they're connected, behind it, on the cross. So this is what the pasuk says. And they would stand, they would be sustained there. So if we're talking about the lower worlds, of these worlds, so if it's talking about plural, it would say it in plural, but it's not. That they should stand. Ella koi al elu shnei oros shena'as echad. But here, once again, we're talking about, and this is the concept he's talking about always, seems to be, is the two opposite worlds, shnei oros shena'as echad, that become together and make one. So therefore, they're not two lights. The neket lashon v'amod, and it says specifically that word, shehu lashon amud, like a what? Like a column? Behind an amud kasser, Okay. Let me go back a little bit. Lama Omer the V'yamod. Why do we have the class that they stand? Elokoya al elu shnei orush na'asachad. But it comes back into this, what's standing here is one singular light. It becomes one. The naked, so I'm starting to think, what was he talking about? He said the original light, he's talking the original light. And he's talking about the light that breaks through with this letter Yud. Or he's talking about some aspect of the Yud itself. So he said that the Neked Lashon V'Yamod, he said, Shehu Lashon Amud, like standing or column. Behind Amudi Kisrei, Kasser, that is the columns of, I don't know, the columns of Kasser Shamarda B'Daman now. So apparently we saw this. V'achakach Pirush, HaSefer Shebemilis V'Yehi. So now he wants to come over and he said, now you have this Yud, I guess, I'm not sure. He says you have the V'Yehi, the Sefer Shebemilis V'Yehi, looking through it, or Nirmaz called Seder Abubayis Olam Adam Kadmor. So this is really a reference to the order of the Yud Kei Vav Keis that you find in Adam Kadmor, in the Adam Kadmor. So Hazeh, Sha'anim is asking Bo Ada, that's the level at which we're dealing with right now, Bisman Zev, at this time. It says, and you have this name, Yakovi. So the Kavanah on this is what? Hayud Rishonet, the Einach of a Yud, Ilo Shel Shem Sag. So the first Yud, that's the upper Yud, he says it's the Yud Ilo, that's the first Yud Vav Dalad, the Yud Vav Dalad, Shel Shem Sag. V'haki Einach of a Hati, Roshu, so Binik Amor. So all of this, apparently, we're supposed to know this. He said the concept of Tiru is also the concept of Bina, which we said before is the mother, which gives birth to it, so to speak. So then he said, V'havavav mora al hashnei yudim shin as vav. So then this is the concept of the two yudin. Which yud are we talking of? What's the second yud? The first yud is the first yud of the letter sa, which I'm thinking that he means, I'm not sure, but I'm thinking that he means that it's still in the tiru. So that yud somehow combines with the yud that breaks out. So let me read it again. So the vav is actually an extension of the two yudin. Mora al shnei yudin. So I'm just trying to figure where the shnei yudin coming from. So one is in the name Sag, and the other one I'm assuming is the part that broke out. Shana asivav, it becomes a vav. Kishinistalka of a yud shel shem Sag. Once again, he says that this is all a machination that I really, it's not easy to figure. He says, so you now have the yud of the shem Sag, from the Tihiru la'alos, and it wants to go back, l'malo, the lachsa, the sharsha, to go back to its root. Now, maybe, I'm not sure, because okay, we have to stop there. Okay, really trying to work through this. It's difficult. A lot of missing a little different ideas. This is Baruch Fleischman, Tikkun Elevator Kolo. Everybody have a wonderful Shabbat.